Good evening, champions. Oh, I hope everybody had a good work week. Welcome to Friday with Hot Mic with Lady She podcast. I am so in awe of God right now. I promise you, I just feel like I just had an encounter, and I feel like it's because of this subject. I was feeling a heaviness, and because I'm a praying woman, I went into prayer as I was putting on my makeup. And what I will say is this: be open to this subject, be understanding to this subject, be compassionate, have empathy, and just be prayerful for people. If you have not experienced this, just be thankful and be prayerful for others who may have gone through this and or who may still be going through this. I am looking to be encouraged, empowered, and educated on tonight, and I just want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to also thank my guest, of course. I'm definitely praying for her, and let's just go ahead and just do this thing. I was going to play some music, but because I am new to podcasting, I'm not sure about the whole rights thing. So instead of doing that, I'll find out and I'll see how that goes. Just a little hint about something I have going on. I will be having my own intro very, very soon. I have some amazing people working on some things for me. So this is just the beginning, okay? We are super excited about the guests to come. My November is full already with guests. That's great. And my December is getting there. So continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for yourself. We know in this climate, there's a lot going on, but we desire to be prayerful and to stay encouraged, stay empowered, and to be educated on the things that may be going on that may not be our experience, that may not be our life, that may not be, our surroundings. And that's what I want to bring forth on this platform. So thank you so much in advance. Let's go. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Bridget. Oh,
Hey, Shanice.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome. I just was explaining to the viewers that I had like an encounter. I feel like I know why it happened. I love God so much, like my spirit's so sensitive. Like I had like a moment, like I started praying and singing, and I'm like, God, you're about to do something dynamic on tonight, and I'm gonna just let you do what you do. I am not gonna get in the way. I am just gonna let you do what you do because it is not about me. It is about your people. So I'm super excited. Let me just change the screen.
Sure.
I don't know if it's me being bougie, but I just don't like how it looks. Let me see. I'm still learning this stuff too. I don't like that big gray. Yay. Okay, that's better. All right. Awesome. I can see you now. All right. So let's just jump right in. Okay.
Sure.
I love everything you sent me. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to read what you sent me. So to everyone who does not know, my special guest on tonight, I titled this episode 2, She's a Overcomer. That came to me. I said, I love it. I didn't even ask you if you liked it, but I just did. I did it. I said, this is the episode. I just ran with it. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing tonight. All right. So on tonight, my special guest is Miss Bridget Wilson, who is a native of Hempstead, New York, and an entrepreneur. She is the creator of Bakes by Beat. Love the name. I gotta order me some stuff too. I love me some sweets. Bakes by Beat, a treat company, and specializes in cakes and cupcakes. This mom of two has leveraged her business from creating to teaching baking classes at the ABGS Middle School. Go us in Hempstead. Yeah. She has a passion for the children in the community and proudly serves as the PTSA treasurer of Hempstead High School.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to dive in. Thank you so much for coming on. And like I said, I was trying to get you in before the end of this particular month because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So thank you so much for squeezing me in there. I know I'm out here jumping out here, but thank you for just enduring me right now. Just like everybody else. All right. So let's start with, okay, so I just announced the name of your company. If you want to give me clarity, give clarity on how you came up with the name, when you started the business, or you can do that.
Sure. So my business started in 2010. I was not expecting to be an entrepreneur. My daughters and their and their cousin had a sleepover at my house. So they were playing outside, and I was watching them out the window, and they had a tin can in their hand. So I called them over, like, "What are you doing with this tin can?" They were like, "Oh, we were selling suntan lotion." I had just moved to this neighborhood. Yeah, I'm like, what? I was like, these people do not know me. You can't be going to strangers' doors, whatever. So they ended up earning $7. I'm like, people giving y'all money. This is crazy. So I'm like, all right, since y'all want to sell stuff, just give me the money. I'll put some of my own, and I'll just bake a couple of cakes, and y'all can have bake sales outside the house.
Nice.
We had a bake sale the next day. Everything sold out. We started doing it every 2 weeks. Then it got to the point where people started coming to my door asking for, personal orders. And I was like, this might be a little business. Yeah, so it was a kid. Yeah. I wanted to be a model child. I was not thinking about no business. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's how it started.
All right, I love it. Listen, God will use the kids to get us out of our little rut, or get us out of whatever it is at times. Trust me, I be knowing. That is awesome. So it says that you have 2 children, right? Mm-hmm. So what are the ages?
21, and the other one will be 20 next month.
Oh my goodness, I love that. You got grown kids. You got some grown children. They take care of you then.
They still get on my nerves. I just don't have to worry about a babysitter. Everything else,
right?
Yeah, trust me. People think because you have grown kids, like I have freedom, of course, because I don't have to worry about them as much. But it's like a different level of
it's
work.
Your child. It's still your children.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's a lot going on, so you're always constantly thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But they definitely inspired it. I was not on my radar.
I hear you. All right. I'm trying to fix this, how we're coming up. I just got a text message, so let me do, because like I said, I'm still learning this stuff. Okay, there you go. I think it looks better now. All right. Come on, Jesus. Hook us up. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it does actually. I can actually see the difference. That was cool. All right. So, all right. So you're from Hempstead. So now you were born and raised in Hempstead. What was your childhood like?
My childhood was pretty, normal for the most part. My grandmother and my aunts raised me. My mother battled drug addiction for about 25 years. I grew up in the church and everything like that. I mean, I didn't know I was poor until I was grown.
Right.
I thought we had money, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. So, it was pretty normal. My family is very close-knit. But of course, you deal with those issues if your parent is a drug abuser, you know what I mean? Like the issues of abandonment. And even though all my needs were met, like food, clothing, shelter, I never went without. The emotional support really wasn't there because nobody ever dealt with like, okay, your mom is out in the streets. And it wasn't like I didn't see my mom, because I would see my mom in passing.
Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was that like?
It was hard because I was in denial. I was ashamed. I remember lying and told friends that I made that my mom passed away, because it was just so. Yeah, I was bad, girl.
You were hurt. You were hurt.
Very much hurt.
You were hurt.
Yeah, and nobody really took the time to explain like what was going on with my mother. It was just like, we just went on with life. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person, I need to have explanation to have understanding. I can't just accept things for what they are. You know what I mean? So that definitely left a lot of anger with me, not being raised by either of my parents. And all my friends that I had growing up had either one or both parents. So I was like, felt odd, felt different. Like, this is weird. Like, Yeah.
I absolutely do know. I absolutely do know. So now let me ask you this, which might be kind of, I don't want to say controversial, but do you think that, because I feel like that's very common with us as a people, something could be going on right there and everybody just acting like it ain't happening. Like, there's a roach over there. Like, nobody look, we know it's there. Just keep it pushing. Eat your food, child, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be acting like it ain't happening.
Yeah.
No, her mother. No, she good. She all right. It almost feels like it seems normal. Did you feel that way? Like, people just didn't have discussions about the things that were hard when we were kids?
I didn't know how to pinpoint what it was then, but I just knew that this is crazy. Like I can remember vividly, my grandmother getting letters from my mom in jail and like sitting me on her bed and I'm reading the letters. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, okay, she's in jail. Like, I didn't understand it really. Like, Lord, what is going on? Where's my mom? Where's my dad?
Right.
It was a lot. Even though I grew up with a lot of love, a lot of support, that mom factor, that mom love and stuff like that, I really needed.
Absolutely. Everybody does. And I think what happens is, when you get used to a certain environment, you get used to a certain thing, you convince yourself that you're okay. But what happens is it starts to show up, and as a teenager, it starts to show up in your relationships. It starts to show up in your marriage. It starts to show up when you're mothering your own children. And that's, that's one of the things, I wanted to do this platform for us to have some awareness of some of the things that, that go on in our childhood that shape and mold us, that we don't always see it that way as adults. Right. So with that, I do want to jump right in reference to, your relationship or lack thereof. How did you get to this point? First of all, is the person your children's dad? Like, how did this all start?
He is the father of my children. I met him when I was 18. He's from the Bronx. And at that time, I was really going to the city a lot. I met him, or whatever the case was. Of course, he didn't start out with abuse. He was very compassionate, very caring, very nurturing. His family embraced me. So it was it felt like what I was missing from my childhood, with a mom. He lived with his stepmom and his father. And I was like, wow. And they were calling me daughter and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, this is it right here. Okay, this is what's up. And he was very catering to me. He, took care of me. And I appreciated that. And the abuse didn't start until a year after we were, in the relationship. And the first instance, I knew, you know where we're from. So we used to a certain kind of thing. You don't really
energy
internalize it. Yeah, right. There you go. So when the first fight happened, I always fought back. I just never won, So I'm just okay, we had a fight. Okay, people fight. I done seen people fight for eons. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. And once I knew it was abuse, when it kept happening, he apologized the first time and we got back together, and I got pregnant with my first daughter. And he did it again. He sat on my chest and tried to choke me. And I had, and I had to grab, it was a bottle on his dresser, and the dresser was right next to the bed. I had to, crack him in the forehead and get up out of there. And I went my whole pregnancy without talking to him. No, this is not.
This was during your pregnancy? This is during the pregnancy?
Yeah, I found out, maybe a couple of weeks later, I was pregnant.
Wow.
I didn't talk to him the whole 9 months. I didn't want nothing to do with him. I didn't tell my family, because my family is, kind of crazy. He wouldn't be here today. I was just I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to tell him he has a kid. I never told them why, because it's a stigma when you're a certain height. Girl, you 6 feet, you couldn't handle, you know what I mean? Instead of girl, embracing you, let's talk about what's going on. You know what I mean? That's basically what it was. So I'm you know what? I'm not telling him what happened.
Okay.
I was convinced, well, he needs to know that he has a child. That's when I went back and the abuse started again.
Right. So now for him, you said something that you always hear when you hear these stories, that it was so good, I didn't see this coming. Do you think, because sometimes the family, stuff, the family will help in assisting the abusive energy or the crazy. So do you think the family also kind of enabled and pacified the situation and looked at you like, this is normal, you stay, you have a child now, you stay, like, was it that kind of thing as well?
His dad, definitely not. He used to speak so much life into me, like, you're better than this. You need to leave him alone.
Wow.
And I remember his dad was like, I could see you being a businesswoman with a briefcase and a suit on. So it was like prophecy. You know what I mean? I had no desire, I had no thoughts of that. Yeah. And he always used to tell me, like, you're better than this. His mom, on the other hand, he was definitely a mama's boy. So she was, like, you need to work it out type of thing. So
yeah. And that's one of the things, I'm glad you mentioned about the difference with the parents. A lot of time, this is just my thoughts. This is just my, my experience. And this is why I want other people to come on and speak on these different things, especially parenting. This is why I can't finish this book I've been writing about parenting, because it's so much. It's so much involved. And, unfortunately, like we know, it's not, just something made up. We know there are a lot of homes where the mother is raising the son. And what happens is a lot of times the mother start to treat the son like her man, like that's her dude, and allow them to do so much and don't train them or have them in an environment where there's masculine men to teach them, nah, you can't do that. You can't do that, King. That's not, you don't do that. Like, that's a queen right there. That's not what you do. So it's, how you saying the father was speaking life into you. His own father was speaking life into you, understanding like, this ain't it. I don't know what this is, but you need to get out. That's a lot. And the mom, because, you'll see stuff like, and this is what I'm saying about connecting to my family and things I try to pull from being a boy mom is not treating my sons until they 30 talking about they boys.
Yes.
You have to raise them in specific ways so they are not abusive. You have to pay attention when they're young to see certain things they got going on and be like, wait a minute now, that can turn into something else. So now you ended up having both, you said both children by him.
Yes.
So now they're older now, of course, but how was that? Was this going on in front of them? Like, how was that going? Were you living in the same household? Was it just a thing where, when y'all were around, y'all were back and forth off and on?
It was definitely back and forth, off and on. I left him. The best thing that happened to me when my youngest daughter was, I think, a month before she turned 2 months old, he went to jail for 2 years. So that was it. After that. They never witnessed it. Well, my oldest daughter did, but she was a baby. Like, I can remember instances where she was there, but glory be to God, she can't remember. Right. But, they never witnessed anything. I definitely told them. I'm very blunt when it comes to, making my children aware what happened. And, I'm not with your dad because he abused me. I sat them down and let them know what it was, what the signs were. And so they didn't have to repeat the same thing. Because, it's just tragic. And a lot of children grow up in those environments.
Right. Listen, I literally wore this shirt just for your episode. It says generational curse breaker, because I had to watch my mom go through that. Like, I had to pull out knives on some jokers for my mom. Wow. So, me thinking that, your children may have been exposed to that was definitely something I wanted to know. And I'm glad that they did not, or they couldn't remember. That's God protecting them. And they're only able to see their mama be strong and be a survivor. And now, she's speaking against it and helping other women. So with that, are you connected to any organizations? I saw that you had another page called Cupcakes and Conversations. I love the name. That's so cute. So is that geared towards that, or is it just, shooting the breeze and having conversations over pastries.
Yeah, I wanted to focus on mental health, you know, not just domestic violence. Yeah, because when is it? Next week I start my baking class, and I'm putting that component into it, the cupcakes and conversation. I'm partnering with a counseling center so the children can just get that. Yeah, because I'm just like, if I would have had mental health services when, you know, my mom was going through, I would be so much better. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have went through as much. And I just want to help as much as I can, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Thank you for your services with that. Because we all know so many things could have probably been avoided if we had specific type of help, you know, as kids. Do you think your grown up situation, because, you know, I want to touch back on, you know, you didn't want to tell your family. A lot of times we hide things from our family because we feel like they're going to be judgmental. But do you sometimes regret not saying anything, you know, because sometimes this stuff can be like generational. Are there other women in your family or men? Because let me say that men can be abused as well. You know, are there other family members in your are there other family members who have gone through domestic violence also?
I did have a cousin that went through it, but I didn't really, you know too much in depth about it. Like, they talk about it, but they definitely handled the situation. And I would just leave it at that. But that's the only one. That's the only one I really know of. You know what I mean? I'm just embarrassed because, like, being a tall girl and I'm not 150 pounds, people expect you to be, you know, a superhero, so to speak. Like, nothing can affect you physically.
Like
nobody should be. Yeah, nobody should be able to beat you up. Nobody should be able to do this and that to you. So I grew up with that stigma. So it's like, I don't feel like hearing that. Like, listen, I was fighting back. This man is crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
I was fighting back. I'm not supposed to be fighting back because I ain't supposed to be fighting no man. You are not supposed to be fighting no man. No man's supposed to be fighting no woman. So it should be a thing where you can say, you know, this is happening to me. I don't know where it came from, but I ain't going back there. Y'all gonna help me? We're gonna do this together. And you know, we have to speak on it. And you know, that's why I appreciate you so much for coming, you know, to help other women understand, you know, listen, say something. Say something, because once you share it, it's in their court now. Up to them to do something with that information. You know, like you know, oh my gosh, Bridget, listen, no, you ain't supposed to be fighting no man. No man supposed to be fighting you. Period. You know, I don't care what size you are. I don't care if he was my height. No, that don't happen. Because you ain't supposed to be banging on him either. So, you know, this is the thing. You know, we have to bring awareness to that kind of energy and that kind of thinking, because that's a lot of times why people don't tell. You know, they feel they're going to be judged. They feel like they're going to be looked at as being weak and all the different things. And no, wrong is wrong. The end. You know, wrong is wrong. The end. And nobody deserves that. I was gonna say something before I went there. I'm so glad your daughters didn't witness that. But how was it? How are you navigating, you know, through life? Were you still working? Like, how were you getting through it before he went, you know, before he went to jail? Did everything stop then when he went away?
Yeah. I was still like visiting him here and there, but a situation happened where that ended. You know what I mean? Once he left, you know, I got my first apartment. I was back on my turf because I was staying in the Bronx with him. So I was back in Long Island. You know what I mean? And I kind of got my strength back. So it was just like, I'm not dealing with this no more. Like, I went through too much with that man. You know what I mean? And that was just it. You know, I got counseling. And I did tell my family, and me and my mom just had a conversation before you even invited me to the show, and we were talking about domestic violence, and she was like, wow. I knew you would tell me because I would have been doing the rest of my life in jail, right? I was like, yeah.
Mom was like, I would have been about that life. Like, hold on. Listen here. That's me right there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So let me ask you this. Okay. You didn't want to say anything because, okay, now would it have been a thing? You just didn't want to be judged, or did you think no one was going to believe you?
I just didn't want to be judged. Once I, you know, revealed everything, everybody was like, you know, ready to ride out. but I just didn't want to be judged just because of, like I said, the stigma people have with, certain posteriors or statures or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like hearing that.
So now let me ask you this: do you think? Because let me. How do I say this? I had a conversation with someone in reference to, the energy we give off. Do you feel that growing up, because, you didn't have either of your parents growing in the household, or your friends had their parents or a parent, and you were the taller one, do you feel that the self-esteem thing was another reason why you kind of stayed? Or do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely a self-esteem thing, because I just felt different and I just wanted to be normal, so to speak, normal. You know what I mean? Like I want a mom, I want a dad. Yeah. Like I'm a father. Yeah, I was loved, but not that parental love. So I felt abandoned. You know what I mean? Even though, now I'm older now, I know they've gone through their own issues, and that definitely worked out for the better. But I just wanted to fit in. Everybody has that need to fit in. And yeah, like I don't want to be singled out, you know what I mean? But God, from the beginning of time, basically I've been singled out and been different. But that comes with growth, that you really understand your purpose. But definitely I wanted the mama and the daddy, like, look, everybody else got one, I want one too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to the stigma that we don't have these hard conversations. We just don't. We just like, should be fun. Say if she start acting up, then we'll address it then. It's kind of too late. Once you start seeing the behavior, there's been things going on in the mind for probably years. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And when things like that go on, you have to have these conversations, with the kids. So I'm so glad, I'm so proud of you for doing this with the kids, with the pastries and stuff like that, and having these conversations and getting the counseling and stuff together, because they need it. They need it. All of us could think of somebody when we were growing up that this person said a certain thing to us who wasn't our relative that made a difference or resonated in us. You know what I'm saying? His father, okay, his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Who knew? God can use anybody. God can use anybody to get you that message that I made you peculiar. Okay, you are peculiar people. You are royalty. Yes. Child, look, you talking about your height? Listen. Listen. I said I'm 5'11" in my head. I said God made me short because if I was tall, I'd be conceited. So you talking about how you stood out? I'm like, child, if I was tall, I'd be ridiculous. Listen, but we all got our stuff. We all have our stuff. Oh my goodness. So, so would you say like so your daughters were doing their little entrepreneurial stuff and you just kind of swooped in there. Did it become like natural when it happened? Because you have to have like a love for this thing.
I just was like, I just wanted them to, I wasn't rich, raising them. I didn't really have a lot of resources as far as like my own, but so I was very creative with them all the time. Like my kids stayed at the library, everything free at the library, the little programs, we're definitely there.
Me too, honey. We play no game, win-wins, none of that. We should sign our name up for everything. Oh, the whole sheet. Flipping. We're going to this too. Yes, thank you. See you next week.
That's how I became involved in the schools, the PTA, and they got a lot of benefits from that. But I wasn't thinking about a business. I was just doing it to make them a little money, have fun, and that was it. Then people were like, oh, the cakes was good. Then they start knocking on my door. I'm like, wait, hold on. What's going on? What? Yeah. And it went from there.
I love it. He just does it suddenly, right? Yeah. He just does it suddenly. You just be like, oh, time out. I'm like, I got a whole business. Like people looking for me to make stuff. And this is just what I do. He's just awesome like that. He's just so awesome. I was going to say something. So how does it feel, working in the community that you grew up in? When I seen ABGS, I said, what? I got so many flashbacks thinking about that school. I said, wow, she's working in there. I'm like, this is something else. So how does that feel when the kids are like, I feel like I could do this too? Like, what kind of conversations, do you have with the students?
All type. I have a variety of different students, of course, from different backgrounds. And it's so funny how they think I'm their friend. I am their friend, but you know what I mean? Like, they really be like, listen, let me tell you what happened today. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's the tea? It's really like, it's really cool.
What's the tea?
I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm an old lady. It's like, no, you're real cool.
They're like, you cool, so let me tell you.
Yeah, they were telling me all my first year students, they used to call me on the phone, the group chat, and like tell me everything that was going on the weekends. I'm like, look, I'm off. I don't like all the time. Like it was like 5 of them on the phone. I'm like, oh my God.
I love it. But let me tell you, like I was just saying, we all have somebody that we met in school, a teacher, or somebody that we like, this person said something to me, or this person made me feel so free and so comfortable. And you're now that person for them. You know what I'm saying? That's how it comes back around. That's how it comes back around. So I know you feeling overwhelmed, like, hold on, y'all. I'm not your homegirl. Like, I'm here to teach you this. But you might be the only outlet that they have. You literally may be the only outlet that they have that's actually listening to their conversations. Where some, a lot of us was latchkey kids. So by the time we got home from school, there was nobody there. We had to let ourselves in, and we just watching TV, making pranks. So they're like, oh, I can't wait to see Miss Wilson. I can't wait to see Miss B. We're gonna talk about this, and this happened over the weekend. And you like, I'm exhausted. Think about what y'all talking about. They just happy, they just got an outlet. So that is awesome. Yeah, so now it says you're treasurer with the PTSA. So how did you get into that?
I wasn't looking for it. I was not looking to be in the PTSA. I just wanted to be a member. I wanted to be involved. When I was the president, or when my girls went to middle school, that thing wore me out. So I was like, I'm gonna just participate. Like, I'll show up. And the treasurer that they had prior to me was leaving, and they didn't have nobody. I was like, oh God, let me help.
You can't help it. You can't help it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, but it's so good. That's the spirit of service. That's the spirit of service. You serve. That's a gift.
Right.
That is a gift. It really is. I'm glad you know that. That is a gift.
And I love it. And my daughter graduated 2020 last year, and I'm still a part of it.
What? I love it. I love it because it's in you. It is in you. It is.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, have you ever had it have you joined groups, and do you do speaking engagements connected to domestic violence? Have you done that?
I haven't. I was, because I did go to a domestic violence shelter during my time.
What was that like?
It was different. It was child. The stories you hear, what I mean? And you got to deal with all these different personalities. I did grow close to 2 of the women. We're still in contact to this day.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, but a part of the aftercare program, they had monthly meetings. But it was so many years ago, it stopped. But that's as far as it went, as far as that.
Okay. Yeah. So that particular program stopped, or do you know why? Because when I think of a program like that, I would think it could never stop. Because do you know what I'm saying? So how does that go?
It just, because it was just one woman facilitating everything. So I'm not sure if she grew a little tired or whatever have you, because she was a survivor herself. So it was just
they usually are dark, the drug programs and stuff. They are also, ex abuse, addiction abuse. Yeah, they all have their own stories. That's why they're able to see signs when people not really doing it. They're like, I was you. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I was you. So don't do that. Don't do me. Don't do me. We're going to get you help. I got you, So, you know, she went through it. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because my brain just says they shouldn't never end.
Stop those programs. Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so you said the abuse stopped once he went where he went, and you guys basically phased out, right?
Right.
It was never anything where like you ended up in a hospital or anything like that, right?
No.
Oh,
But yeah, it was definitely an instance where I had to leave my daughter, my oldest daughter. She was like 5 months. And he thought I was trying to fraud his father for some reason. I don't know why.
You was trying to do what?
Like fraud him. This is what he said. Like commit fraud on his dad. Whatever. And I remember he kicked me off the bed, like under the TV, and the TV almost fell on me. I had to just go with what I had.
While you were holding the baby?
No, I would have lost it. I definitely. I don't play with the baby.
She's like, no. Like
being wanted. Yeah. No, she was asleep. It was late. It was like 11 o'clock. And he chased me to the park, like kicked me into a lamppost. Blood was spilling over my face, like I was blackened and everything. And I just was like, this is too much.
Yeah. So now when this was happening, were the neighbors intervening, or like was it a thing where cops would constantly call? Like how was that going? Like when I speak, when we would see something, we grew up on terrace. So when we would see certain things, we like, oh my God. Like I remember there was a certain house where it was constant. And I was way younger and I got so mad one day. I'm like, you're going to get what's coming to you. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I can hear you when you're hitting her. And I was like a kid. Wow. I was like frustrated. Yeah, I was mad. I'm like, you hitting this girl, like I was like, so was it any of that? Like, was it where people had to intervene? Like, cause you running outside, I mean, people see.
It was late. I did probably, that's the, we, Charlamagne say the crazy.
I know, like the Bronx is different. That's a fact. The Bronx is different. Yeah,
they probably thought I was running to the store or something. Because at first I had to leave. And the park was dark. There wasn't nobody in there. Yeah, Charlamagne ain't never lied.
The Bronx in Florida. We gotta pray for the 2 places. Listen, everybody need prayers now. Those 2 places. For real. Yeah, because Florida's definitely different. For sure. I had my little account out there. I'm about to lay hands on somebody. Yeah, we're gonna pray for Florida. Pray for Florida. They different. They definitely different.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So what did you have a time like? Yeah, I know you had the kids. Thank God they were young. Oh my gosh, Bridget. Thank God they were young. But that probably was like the worst time, right? When he did that outside.
Definitely, yeah. It was a lot of verbal, a lot of, I don't know what it's called, but I can remember like him coming in sometimes. One particular time he came in like 4 or 5 in the morning, turned on all the lights, mixed the dirty clothes with the clean clothes. So I had to do like 100 pounds of laundry, like psychological stuff. Like, what's your problem?
Psychological abuse. What I mean? Yeah. That's very, very real. Very real. Now with that, is he like diagnosed? Like, or he just an idiot? Like, what was that?
He needs to get diagnosed, but he was a victim of sexual abuse from his from one of his father's girls, and they never, like you were saying earlier, dealt with what he experienced. So now he's passing it on.
Yeah, it's unprocessed hurt, and that's what I was saying about people be knowing and just like he'll be fine. He's not gonna be fine. Right. He's gonna ruin somebody, or somebody's gonna take him out of here. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's why we have to bring awareness to this kind of stuff, and we're seeing it more and more with people, not just the abuse with the actual mate or the actual significant other. They start doing it to the kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like something where you cannot not have these hard conversations. You have to have these hard conversations. And like I said, I watched my mom go through it. Nobody had a conversation with me about it. Nobody talked about it.
Like, oh, go, okay, it happened and that's that. No, we gotta explore this. You know what I
Yeah, we
mean?
go from him choking you to we eating steak. I'm like, wait, what? Come on,
Yeah,
bro. Like something ain't right.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
you knew
that
it, and you knew
that ain't
it.
right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you knew. Like, what? Like, come on, bro. But if no one's having a conversation about it, how do you get an understanding and not repeat the same thing? That's what this shirt is about.
Mm-hmm.
Generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
you get to a point where you don't repeat the same thing? Because I would even have conversations with people who are like, my daughter would never. They being knocked upside their head, but they're like, my daughter would never. And then when their daughter get into that situation, she convinces
Mm-hmm.
herself what you said, I was fighting him. No, you're not fighting a man. That's abuse. You're
Yes.
not fighting a man.
Yes.
Y'all not having no fight. Like this ain't oh yeah, you messed my knuckle up. This is not that. It's not
Right. Right.
normal. That is
Right.
dysfunction. We
Absolutely.
have to deal with that. We have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? So with the baking, I love food. I love patience. I want to get some food. I want to order something just because. But I promise you, we keep cupcakes in here. We keep cookies and stuff. So we definitely got to order some stuff. But what are some things? Okay, in the next 5 years, what do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? In reference to let me do this. Let me do the same thing I did with Mr. Miles. Where do you see yourself as just a woman of God?
Yes.
Where do you see yourself as a mom? I don't call myself my kids' friends, but you may, respectfully.
Right.
A mom and a friend to your daughters. And then where do you see yourself as a business owner? And are there any ventures outside of the cupcake avenue? Do you remember those? I remember them. So go ahead. First, as a woman of God, where do you see yourself?
More spiritually inclined to the Holy Spirit and what He wants to do with my life, for sure. Just less of me and more of Him.
Yeah.
And whatever He wants to do. I don't even want to kind of predict because I don't want to go off that. So whatever He got for me, let's do it. Let's partner and let's get that done.
Let's get that done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was the next question? I don't
remember. The next one was as a mother. Well, let me ask you this. Relationship wise, like how have you been, since that? Because sometimes it takes people a long time to get back out there. And then other day, like, let me just jump back in so I don't be lonely. What has that been like? Yeah, bump that other stuff. Hold on a second. Yeah. What's that like?
It took me about like 2 years, maybe 3. I will never forget. I was at the bar with my cousins, and they was like, "Oh, you need a man." I was like, "No, I need to heal, sis. Like, I don't." That. Okay. I don't want to deal with them. I might kill somebody's son if they say, you know what I mean? You never know what might trigger you. I said I had to get me together. Like, no. Yeah. So it took me about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. I can't. Yeah, to get it together. I was like.
So now let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead.
Relationship wise, I'm very assertive and aggressive and demanding. I will say that. Like, you're not gonna play with me because let me just lay some things out before we even get into the situation. What's not gonna happen? Amen. Because we're not going there ever again. It happened once and one time only. But
amen to that. Yeah. Now let me say this now with the assertive, because aggression and assertive is different. Aggression is different because my thing is you don't want to meet the one who's like, that's my bread and butter right there. Like, I need Bridget, but he don't know how to deal with Bridget because of what she went through. Where he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I don't want to be hurt because she's still hurt. So how do you navigate with that? Like women, some of us can be very how do I say? Not aggressive, not assertive. Well, some of us can know our worth, but it can come
Yes.
off in a certain manner where the
Right.
male is
Right.
like, you ain't gotta do that with me. I got you. Like you're safe with me.
Mhm.
So is that
Yeah.
a thing where you have this over your head where you like, if I don't feel safe, like I'm out? Where he may be trying to
Definitely.
learn you, so has that been an
Mhm.
issue with you dating?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Like you were right. Relax. I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to relax. I got to
Right,
make
right,
sure.
right,
And
right.
on top of that, I have daughters, and I don't bring men around my children. Even to this day, my kids are grown. I'll be like, no.
Right, right,
Like I'm very cautious. Like don't play with my kids. We're not playing these
right.
games because people be having motives.
That's
And
facts. That's a
I
fact.
can't deal with it. I
That's a
can't.
fact. That is
But
a
I'm
fact.
learning myself more and more, like I gotta relax a little bit. And that's why I
Yeah.
said I want to be more spiritually inclined because I gotta trust God to to
Yes.
talk to me. Like, girl, no, this ain't it. Or yeah, you could calm down, sis. Relax. He good.
Right, right, right. Exactly. He like,
Yeah.
he good, he good.
Like
You
you
gotta
sure?
whisper,
Because
you gotta
I
whisper
will
in
go
your ear a
on.
little bit. And yeah, and that's the thing. Once he tell you, you ain't gotta ask God to be sure. He know what he said. He be
Right,
knowing.
right.
He be knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really you or us that have to fall in line and pray more
Mm-hmm.
while we're trying to,
Yeah,
go through it. That's
yeah,
what that is. That's what that is. And
definitely. Yeah.
like Charlotte may be saying, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. You went
Mm-hmm.
through something. But
Right,
just be mindful of not to penalize the next person because he may be it. But he don't know how
right.
to love on you because he like, I'm gonna be dealing with what old dude did. And this was 20
Right.
years ago.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. But if we
Mm-hmm.
don't heal, we can continue to carry things for 20 years. We really can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see
Mm-hmm.
so many mean people in church. You're like, well, you've been
Yeah.
going to church for 35 years. Why are you still mad? And they haven't healed.
Yep.
They are regular people. They haven't healed. You see that lady at your job who acting a fool. She in her 50s and 60s. You're like, what is wrong with this girl? She hasn't healed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means. She hasn't
Yeah.
healed. So I am so godly proud of you. So godly proud of you that you have
Thank
become who
you.
you are. I'm so excited for where God is going to take you because clearly how God deals with you, he don't even get you involved. He be like, I'm gonna just have her do this.
Right.
Because she ain't gonna do
Really.
it. I'm gonna just have her do this.
Right. Yeah.
And watch
That's
how
definitely
it
how.
blesses other people because she has a servant heart. So that is
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you answered you as a woman of God, you answered you as a parent. Now, with your daughters, how are you when they're dating?
Don't let nobody. I'm. Don't let nobody put your hands on you. Their hands on you. I'll be like, is he like? Are you remember the signs I told you? Is he treating you right? Do you feel
Right.
safe around him? Is he
Right.
making you feel less than? I think my kids are like me on steroids. I mean, like they're very like stronger than I am because they're like they know themselves because I knew what it was like not to have that
Not
growing up.
yeah.
So I put a lot of it into them. Like I can tell my daughter, and it's bad, but it's the truth. I'd be like, "Oh, you're so pretty." They'd be like, "Oh, I know, right? What happened to thank you?" You know what I mean? Like I was like, "Oh, I think I did it a little
You're
too
like,
much."
humble thyself, humble thyself.
Yeah, for real. Like, calm down,
I'm
relax.
cracking up. I'm cracking
Yeah, I
up.
think
Oh
I overdid it. I overdid it. I
I'm
will
cracking
admit
up.
that.
Oh
They
God.
always
Well,
say that.
listen. No, there's nothing wrong. As parents, we are forever their teachers. And they are
Yeah.
forever looking at us and looking to us. So,
Yeah.
you can teach her to be humble because, dudes gonna be scared of her too. They're gonna be like, well, she knows she'll let her. No, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we can teach them as they get older. 20 is still young. She still
Yeah,
got room to learn some
definitely.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not that grown.
She said, I know. I'm cracking up.
Like, girl, calm down. I'll be so mad. Like, yo, what did I do?
I'm cracking up. So now, as a business owner,
Yes.
I'm a owner for business. So I know it can be very hectic.
Oh,
How do you navigate everything?
I don't even know. I just do it. I swear, I gotta get my life together. My brain be like going 24 hours. I have to get to a place where I have to automate everything, like have systems in place, because it's getting to a point that I can't do it alone. Honestly,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely get that part. Because I need me an assistant. I need something. I just keep trusting God. I'm like, God's gonna send me a team. I feel it in my bones. He's gonna send me a team. He's going to send me good people. And that's you have to be. Listen, let me say this to you. Let me say this to everybody. Because I promise you, we keep hearing, as it is nigh in thy mouth, as it is nigh in thy mouth. If you even think it and you trust in God, He's gonna move in that thing. But you gotta be ready. A lot of times we're not ready. We just like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're not ready. But as it is nigh in your mouth, if you speak what you desire and it's in His will, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And with you, it clearly happens suddenly. So you have to be like, what was that? Jesus? Is that you, Lord? You're gonna have to be like, that was you? You don't say you have to be in the aisle like, what's up? That was you? Okay.
For real. That's how it is. I mean, oof. But I mean, I'm trying. Like, I don't know, because it's just so many things in my mind. And it's like now I feel like in my mind, I'm getting rewarded for raising my kid. Because everything is happening. I'm like, hold up. Because I've been struggling with this business. I've been doing this for 10, 11 years. Now it's like bing, 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 opportunity.
In His timing. Timing. Everything goes in waves. Listen, I make shirts. The holiday season come, it's ridiculous. It is crazy. Like, I'm like, oh, I can't do that. No, I'm closed. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other times where it's just, and that's why I have other incomes, when that's kind of slow. But everything is in waves and everything is in His timing. So let me ask you, do you have any like crazy stories from being a business owner? Like, have you had like any kind of weird orders or situations happen?
Yeah. One time this lady ordered, this was in the very beginning, like 2011. She ordered a sheet cake for me, and I didn't know how to make no sheet cake, Shanice. I lied to that lady. God forgive me. I was like, yeah, because I wanted the money. I'm like, yeah.
He's like, I got you. He's like, I got you, sis. I got you. Like, you can't be that hard.
Yeah, the sheet cake looked crazy. I mean, it was lopsided and everything. I had to lie to the lady and say when it fell. When I was on the way out the door, a dog jumped on me and it fell out my hand.
The lie continue. I'm done.
I was not watching, but
you better hope that lady out in this live, child. You better hope she
will. I was like, oh my God, what I'm gonna tell her? It was like
she at home like. She at home like 2011. Hold on. She at home like. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm done. She said
that was wild. That cake was no good. I put it in the freezer, tried to like shape it up. It was horrible. I wish I took a picture of it. It was bad. The strawberries was coming out of it. Like, girl, you don't even know how to do this. Like, why are you lying? I felt so bad. I was like, I hope I don't run into her again. Huh? Like, I hope I don't run into her. I haven't seen her since then. Thank the Lord. But
listen, let me tell you something about you all who make cakes and cupcakes. It is serious to us, the customer. Okay? I, in my head, am a cake maker. Okay?
Okay.
So I would just tell my cake person my vision, and that's what I would want to see.
Right.
So when it doesn't happen, it's like a dagger. Like I will say this, and I've never even said this in public. My wedding cake was the worst cake I ever seen in my life. For years, I've been wanting to blast the person, but because I get mad all over again.
Yeah, like, that's a special name.
Like how you give me specifically what I told you I don't like.
Oh
I
no,
don't
sis.
like fondant. Oh yeah, I don't like fondant.
Yeah.
And the whole cake was fondant. It looked like I made it. And my husband's ridiculous because soon as we walk in to take pictures, he like, oh, look at the cake. Oh, I said, who cake is that? And he like, stop. I'm like, I don't know who cake that is. And he like, don't do that.
No, we doing it today. This is my day. We doing it.
Like, what is that?
Oh,
and
no.
I promise you, I still have the original cake that I wanted in my phone. And there's days where I swoop past that thing. I'm like, I just call light her up. She deserves it. Yeah. Like, I want to put like how you know how they have the memes where they go, what you ordered, what you got.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but I need to do it because it's so wrong. Like, it was bad. Wow. It was so bad.
That's so crazy.
Bad. Girl,
see, I had special days and stuff. You can't do that.
No, you gotta keep it 100. When they spending money and it's a special day, like you gotta be real. Like I can't do it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one thing I will say about you guys' community, the baking community. You guys like do y'all thing. Like it's a lot of y'all, but when you can't do something, you like, oh, go to such and such, go to such and such, go to such and such. I'm like, that's cool. I wish it was more like that with the shirt business, child. It ain't nothing like that with the shirt business, child.
Oh, it's not.
No, they different. I will send somebody to somebody if I can't do it. But you know they ain't sending to me.
Oh man,
it's all good. It's all good. I'm like,
but that's the thing. People don't understand. Like it does. You gotta share. Like because it's reciprocity. You sowing a seed. Because like it's been times when people referred someone to me and I really needed that order or two. That's why I'm always so grateful to my customers. Like I give them plaques, I buy the kids stuff, I give them free stuff because it has been times that you have been the lifeline and you don't even know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Say that. Say that. Say that.
You need to practice that. Yeah, I was like, you get an order for like $200-300. I'm like, yo, thank you, Lord, because I needed that.
I be knowing. Trust me, I be knowing. So the most difficult part is really like you navigating, your schedule really, because you do stuff with the school, you with the PTSA. So that's what it basically comes down to. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my chest. Woo, that was crazy.
It's okay.
Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Okay, I probably should have had like a water or something near me in this particular moment. Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me. Okay. Wait. All right. Back at it.
Good.
Yes, I'm good. I don't know. I guess it was a hairball. I don't know what that was. Okay. All right. So back to the 5-year mark. Okay. So as a woman of God, you desire to be closer to God spiritually. As a mom, clearly you're doing your thing as a mom. You're just gonna pull one of the little mamas back a little bit with her confidence. Right. We're gonna make her humble. Got that. All right. So you're not gonna stop baking anytime soon, though.
Well,
how long you think you're gonna do that?
I'm gonna put a pause on it. Only because you're the first person outside of my family to know this. I'm in a business that I have right now. I'm doing a rental property. That's
nice.
Yeah, girl. So I want to
share this. Share. That's what this is for.
Yeah, I'm doing the rental property. So I'm getting to that. I got my first one. I'm down in Georgia now. I was like, you know what? Thank you.
Welcome.
A lot of work. Girl, I was like, she want me to do the podcast. I ain't bring no clothes. All I brought was sweatpants and t-shirts, but I was like, nope.
I'll be out there next week. Coming in and going out. I'll be knowing.
I love it here. Oh my God. I don't want to go home. But I have that. I don't. I'm like, I love the woods. I don't know what it is.
So this is what you're getting into. You're getting into real estate. That's just saying.
Yes, I am.
I love that. Listen, real estate is always a win. I'm involved as well. I promise you. This is why I have this platform. I just want to encourage, empower, and educate. And real estate, whenever you hear millionaires speaking, they always talk about they got real estate. You'll never hear them not say that. Do you understand what I'm saying? They never not say that. All of them That's one of the incomes out of the maybe
Yes.
7, 8, 9. They always got real
Right.
estate. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
smart ones invest in real estate. So I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. So now,
Thank you.
but are you trying to leave here, or are you just doing that business wise? Because I have the same thing going on, you know, property in Atlanta as well.
Okay. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards being in dual state.
Okay.
Because, you know, I do have somebody that's gonna like upkeep it for me and stuff like that. But like, I'm feeling the vibe out here. I'm New York, ride and die, but like in Atlanta, the grind is different. Like, people are out here really willing to help, willing to share.
Communities of people winning.
Yo, I'm telling you,
I know.
Everybody that I hired to put TVs up to do this came on time. Like, it's just different. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute, I might have to get a little townhouse or something out here because I'm feeling it. I do not want to go home tomorrow. I'm like,
I love that. Home? But
yeah,
you have to understand, half of Hempstead lives there, and most of the people I know are doing all right. The ones who I know that are actually doing what they say they were going to do when they left are doing okay. I can't speak about the rest because I don't be knowing. Some stuff be looking different when you get down there. But I said that the last episode. The people in Hempstead, from Hempstead are down there doing their thing. They got businesses, they got companies, they doing basketball, like for real basketball. Not like they got a little team, like they got an organization. You know what I'm saying? Going on out there. So it's awesome. Listen, you said you want to be close to God. He gonna speak to you. Be at his timing. He gonna speak to you. And you might have somebody else running Bakes Bobby. Somebody else could be running it.
Right.
Listen, as it is nigh in your mouth. As it is nigh in your mouth, speak it. Yeah. Yep. Speak it, write it down. Write it down. And listen, I'll be writing stuff down. I'm like, God, I know this looks a little off, but you get it. I text somebody today. I text a whole millionaire today. Like, listen, I know I ain't where you at, but listen, when you I'm a let's go.
Right. Okay.
I put myself out there. Either they gonna bite or they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Either or. Yeah. That's right.
Listen, you can't listen. A closed fist can't nothing go in and can't nothing go out. So you gotta move. You gotta make a move. You gotta make a move. So I'm so proud of you. So all right, woman of God, seeking God more. On you and your daughters is good. Sounds like they're good. All right. The business is floating. It's flowing. Excuse me, to the point where you may have to make some changes. And now you're into real estate. What are, off the top of your head, what are some other goals that you have for yourself by the next 5 years?
I definitely want to do the Cupcakes and Conversation as a blog, as well as mental health services and stuff like that. I want it definitely to be a platform, but not for adults, for children, because we forget about kids. We forget about the kids.
I don't, but yes, we do. Yes,
so, but yeah. And I'm like, and being at the middle school, I just noticed that because of how they cling to me, because I listen to them, because I feel like that's important. You know what I mean? I'm a mom. I'm not a perfect mom, but I always try to make sure I heard my kids' needs. You know what I mean? So I feel like I want to do like a platform where children speak on the issues that matter to them, because a lot of parents, a lot of people leave them behind as if they don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely. They feel, and they be knowing what's going on. They be knowing what is going on. Trust, they do. Well, listen, I am here as well. If you need help and rep it to that, like I said on the last episode, I love mentoring kids. I've always had a heart for kids. Before I was even working for Don Ryan at the Salvation Army every summer, I was babysitting. So I've always listened to kids. You know, I have such a heart for the youth. And of course, me being an officer, you know, we would go to the different schools and come there to help them to stay out of trouble. So even the middle school, shout out to Ms. Dorch, I would come and speak to her girl group over there every week until I changed my hours. But I enjoyed them. Like you said, they would cling to you because certain conversations they couldn't have with the teachers there. I was an outsider. So it was a safe place. So absolutely, we have to do for our youth because they're not even like really the future. They're the now. You know, they're the now. You know what I'm saying? They're the now. These kids out here starting businesses, YouTube, and all this stuff. You know, we want to make sure they're staying in a positive headspace and healing, and recognizing what's dysfunctional and what's not.
Right. And I also, to piggyback on what you said, I think people cling to us because they see God's light. They cling to the light that shines through. Because I'll be like, I don't want to go in as myself. I want to go in with my experiences, but God, you pour out your spirit in me and and help your people. You know, like I'm really big on that. Like, at the end of the semester, the dean was like, you know, you really make all the kids feel like they're somebody, even though they're different. I had a breakdown with my mom because I had a little person in my class and she couldn't reach the stove. And I gave her, I was like, I got a stool for you. And I was kind of cautious about saying it because I didn't know if she was going to be offended or not.
Right.
But me giving her that stool and she said, thank you. And I was on the phone with my mother crying for a half an hour. She was like, Bridget, it was just like, yo, the impact, like I'm just being myself. You know what I mean? And I'm just seeing the need, but I know what it's like to feel different. So I don't want any kid to feel like just because they're this way, they have to be left out. And me giving her that stool, because the first 2 times I forgot it, the first 2 sessions, she was like, Miss B, you ain't bring the stool. I was like, oh, I forgot. But when I brung it, she was like, thank you. And she was able to get, let me get myself together. Get on, like, you know, cook on the stove and reach the, you know, the shelves and stuff
able
like
to
that.
Join everybody. Yeah.
So it's just like those things make me want to go back. It's not the money or nothing. It's just the kids. Like I'm really making an impact on somebody's life. Like little old me, you know, they put a stigma on us terrace girls, but you know, that's not. Okay.
Look at us today. Okay.
We're here to tell you it's wrong. Okay. I don't know what's going on now. Okay. But I'm proud to be from Terrace Avenue. And we have something special and we have something to offer the world.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. Girl, you about to make me cry with that story. Because yes, we know what it's like to be different and to stand out and not be able to control that. Okay. Because as you know, I was like the yellowest one on the block. So I went through my own stuff. Okay. I went through my own stuff being confused. Like, what's her problem? You know what I'm saying? But I came up this soft child. You're gonna have to deal with it, or we just don't deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's a heart matter. God can trust you with these kids. The things we go through is not about us. That's why when I'm telling you, Bridget, before I got on, I wasn't sure I was gonna make it on because I was having an encounter with my father. I'm like, I don't know what you're about to do. I said, but you're about to bless somebody. I said, I don't know if it's going to be a release for me, if it's going to be a release for Bridget. I said, but God, do what you're going to do. Do what you were going to do. Yeah. But just you saying what you just said, you know, it's us from Terrace, you know, being looked at a certain way and we're all doing the best we can. And we didn't have it all. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all the tools. And we went through some things, but look at us now because she's an overcomer. She's an overcomer. All right. That's what that is. That is God.
Yes.
That is God.
Absolutely.
And he puts you in position where these young people can feel your heart. It's a heart issue. It's a heart.
It really is.
Kids they can feel when you're not right. They can feel.
That's a fact.
When you're not right. So that's why they trust you. So I'm so proud of you. Listen, I'm gonna pray for you in reference to the real estate stuff. Get your money, child. But if you know, if God is having it to where you continue to do with the youth and make your money while you in your sleep, where you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. That's what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna do. Oh my gosh. That's it. Oh my gosh, this was so good. We over a little bit too, but I really truly enjoyed you. Thank you so much. All right, tell us where we can find you on social media. Let the people know your businesses, anything else you have going on. Let us know if there's anything connected to domestic violence that we need to know. I know there's a hotline. I had shared that on your post. But if there's any foundations or anything like that, let us know. You know, if there's any, do you have any closing words that you would like to say to encourage, empower, or educate us in reference to domestic violence awareness, or just whatever God gives you to say? You can close us out.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at bakesbyb.com. That's BAKESDOTCOM. And on Instagram at Cupcakes and Conversation, all together. As far as domestic violence is concerned, and with men and women, you have to know your worth. You definitely have to understand what's happening to you, process it, and find a way of escape. Reach out. There are plenty of resources to help you, to guide you out. You are not alone. You are not the only one. Don't let the enemy trick you into believing that you're the only one that has ever gone through this, because that's a lie. And you're worth a healthy relationship. You're worthy of being in a healthy relationship. And yeah, that's it.
Miss Bridget Wilson from Terrace Avenue, owner of Bakes by B, founder and owner of Cupcakes and Conversations, next real estate mogul, because she's not done. And I'm excited, and we are here to support you. And we thank you so much for sharing your story on Hot Mic with Lady She. If you need me for anything, not just words, trust me, people who know me for real know I will pick up that phone. Okay? Nope. You have my number, you have my email, you have my contacts. Like I said, I'm putting it out there right now. Anything connected to you need me to do or be there, let us know. All right?
I will.
Thank you so much.
Love you too.
Have a good night. Love you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.